Will Smith failed at being a dad to his eldest son.
I can't do it. I'm not the guy, And It was like, oh, man.
Trey was just a toddler when Will divorced the boy's mum, and instead of being there for his kid, Smith abandoned Trey and started a new family. It was a tough decision, because Will had always dreamed of being a parent.
From the time I was 6 years old, I wanted to be a father.
So why was the actor estranged from Trey for years? And who inspired him to reconnect with his son? Will Smith's divorce seriously shook his confidence. The actor thought that since he wasn't a good husband, he didn't deserve to be a dad.
My desire to never have my son see me in that way made me more absent as a father.
But he didn't worry about parenting with his new family. Shortly after his divorce, Smith remarried. He and Jada then went on to have 2 kids together, and this new brood became Will's top priority. When Trey needed his dad the most, the actor was no longer available. Although that doesn't mean that Will didn't love his eldest child. The actor constantly tried to involve his son in his life. When Trey was 5, he made an appearance in Smith's music video for Just the Two of Us. The song was essentially a love letter from Will to his boy.
Yeah, what's this place?
This is a soundstage.
And when Trey was 9 years old, Smith published a book by the same name in his honor. The duo also had a special birthday tradition. Every year, they'd act out their own version of a famous film. They called it the Trey Tricks. Despite this, the relationship wasn't easy. Deep down, Will considered his son a constant reminder of his failed marriage and his deepest shame.
Divorce was the worst thing that, in my adult life.
Yeah.
Divorce was the ultimate failure for me.
What's more, the actor had a very strained relationship with Trey's mother, Sheree Zampino. Even though they co-parented, these two didn't always see eye to eye.
Daddy-O told me, you'll never win if you fight a kid's mother. And I was like, what I'm supposed to do? She don't get to just do that. He was like, surrender.
As a result, Will started spending less and less time with his eldest son. He didn't want Trey to see his parents fighting over him or becoming enemies. Instead, Will put all his energy into his 2 younger children. Smith convinced himself that things would get better with Trey when the boy was a little older. He was wrong. Because for a long time, Trey felt unloved. He thought that his dad had replaced him with his siblings. Moreover, Trey's mum was always busy. He felt like she was on autopilot all the time. Trey was lonely and missed his dad. Will knew he had to fix the relationship, but he had no idea how. Thankfully, someone inspired him. It was Will's second wife, Jada. She called Trey her bonus child, and she was upset that Will didn't have the best relationship with the boy. Jada reminded her husband what he needed to do. You're so concerned about creating this picture that you have in your mind that you can't even see the blessing that's standing right there in front of you. Naturally, Will was terrified it was too late. He was nearly 50 years old, and Trey was an adult who had just turned 25. The performer was worried that he'd done too much damage for his son to forgive him. But he shouldn't have been. Trey welcomed him back with open arms. Together, they started mending their broken bond. The men traveled together, and Trey started to spend a lot of time with Will's new family.
Really, in the last 2 years, has there been enough wisdom and emotional development to be able to lovingly address the issues?
It changed the dynamics of Will's life. Co-parenting with his ex was no longer an issue, but more importantly, his relationship with his oldest son is the strongest it's ever been. You see, these two have come full circle.
Me and him, we hanging at the F1, and he just hit me with he said, you know what, Dad? He said, I just realized you're not just my dad. And he paused, and he said, I'm pretty sure you're my best friend.
These days, Trey accompanies his dad and the rest of his family to movie premieres and events. And like Will, Trey has a love of music and works as a rapper and DJ. In fact, he's also involved in his siblings' careers, as he's contributed to a few of their songs too. Still, Smith admits that the relationship takes work, but he's also not afraid to own up to his mistakes. Instead, he uses his experience to inspire others to improve their bonds with their kids. In fact, when he shared this heartwarming video about his son, the actor included a disclaimer in the caption. "It hasn't always been like this between Trey and I. We struggled for years after my divorce from his mother. He felt betrayed and abandoned. It's a wild blessing to recover and restore a loving relationship with my beautiful son." Trey clearly taught Will to be a better dad, because as he often says, family forever.